Hello everyone. Jet interviews are coming up, at least for the Americans, in February, so I wanted to record a video sharing kind of what I remember from my interview, and hopes that it will be helpful to some of you. First of all, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I could have gone to the Detroit consulate, I think, but I thought it would be better to go to the Chicago one. It was a longer drive, but I had friends and family there, and I thought it would make kind of the whole process of leaving a little easier, because you have to depart from the city that you interview in. I'm pretty sure is the way it works. So, I got off work at 6 o'clock one night, and Robin came down to pick me up, and we got some food, and we started driving. And we drove most of the way, I think probably about 5 hours or so, and we were exhausted by the time we got that far. We cannot go any further tonight. I'd been working all day, she'd been working all day. Now we just done a 5-hour drive. So we stopped at a hotel in the middle of nowhere and got some sleep. Then the next morning, we woke up to these news and traffic reports of these horrible snowstorms and these terrible accidents all over the state of Indiana. And kind of freaked out. We're like, holy crap, this is not good. But we saw that there was this one huge accident. I don't remember how many cars were involved, but it was gigantic. And it turned out it was on the road. It was breaking off to the north above us or something like that. It wasn't the road that we were on. And so we hopped in the car and drove off, continued on to Chicago. And we only had about an hour and a half left to go. And so we left with plenty of time to get there in case the weather was bad or we ran into accidents and things like that. So we got into Chicago, and parking was a nightmare. The garage below the building that the Japanese consulate is in, they told us to park in. Like, oh yeah, you're here for your interview? No worries. Park down there. So we went down, and we circled around for the better part of an hour before we found a spot. I mean, the place was packed. There was not one spot open. So that was bad. And then, it was freezing cold. So we got out, and we went around looking for lunch, and we killed time at Borders or something. And we went back over to the building and climbed up to where the not the jet offices, but the consulate offices were. And so we get up there, and there were some former Jets that were there, and they were really nice. I think they knew how nervous everyone was, and I was really nervous. I think everyone that was there just kind of sat around their little waiting area. We watched a Jet promotional video that was weird. So you're kind of seeing this video. It's like, if you pass your interview, here's what your life could be like. So there was one guy sitting in the waiting room with me. I remember he had these brownish corduroy pants and this red denim shirt, and he didn't look like he was dressed for this interview at all. And he got called into his interview, and he went in wearing his backpack. I don't know if he made it or not. I thought I saw him at the pre-departure orientation, but I couldn't be sure. Really, one of my biggest advice is look the part. Wear a suit, for God's sakes. You are applying for a job with a foreign government of a country where people wear suits for everything. Professionalism is a way of life. The way of life. At least during the day. But everyone wears suits for everything. Teachers do it sometimes. God, I don't know. Everyone does it. Like, I ride the train in the morning, and everyone's got a suit on. So, do it. I mean, look professional, look nice, be clean, shave, which I haven't done in a few days. But anyway, for your interview, shave, and look nice. This is a serious job. This is easily the hardest job I've ever gotten. Wait, let me rephrase that. This was the hardest application process for any job I've ever gotten. But I was optimistic going into my interview. I have yet to have an interview where I don't get the job. So I was maybe a little confident. And so I go in, and you're interviewed by 3 people. One is a former Jet, and the other 2 are like, one, he was a guy who's maybe like in his early 30s, late 20s. It's just a Japanese guy. I don't know what he did. And then there was a lady there who was a little bit older, maybe like in her 40s or 50s, and I don't remember what she did either. I was super nervous going in. So they'll ask you questions. It was weird. The former Jet asked me questions about kind of why do I want to go to Japan? You know, what's there that I want to, like, what is my interest surrounding this country? The like 20-30-year-old Japanese guy, his questions were interesting. They were mostly centered around like, will I be lonely there? And I didn't know if he was like on some kind of exchange program where like he, you know, really knew where he was coming from and felt these things here or there in America, or what. And the lady, her questions were mostly centered around academic stuff, grades, and things like that. And she was the one who was really looking at my essay and things like that. But it was rough. I mean, you have these 3 people grilling you for anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes. My interview was the last one of the day, I think, at least with that panel. And so I think they took a little more time with me. And it's nerve-wracking. But the most important thing is go in, try and project an air of confidence, but not arrogance. And be yourself, talk slow, make sure that your thoughts are in order. And yeah, just be ready. I may do another one of these just to kind of give some more detailed pointers, but that was pretty much my experience with it. I got out of the interview, and you know, Robin was there talking to some of the former Jets, and I mean, they seemed really positive. When I left my interview, I knew that I'd kind of won over the former Jet, like, because he was, you know, like, he was more friendly than the other 2 towards the end, and was really asking me questions like, oh, you know, so what do you want to see? Like, and I told him, you know, I don't know, I want to go to like Osaka. You know, I have heard plenty about this shrine to Amaterasu and Shimane. I want to go to Kyushu where it's warm, all kinds of stuff like that. You know, he was really cool. I thought I probably won over the younger Japanese guy, because he seemed to warm up at the end too. The only one I wasn't really sure about was the lady. I don't know. Anyway, I was an alternate, so I don't know how they do it, if they vote, like if it's, you know, one person says no and the other 2 say yes or something if you're an alternate. I don't know how it works, but sometimes, I mean, you can really get a feeling of how you've done as soon as you walk out of the room. So I had a pretty good feeling. We drove home that night, and I waited. And you will wait for a very long time until they get around to letting you know if you're in, if you're an alternate, or if you're not going. So sit tight. Best of luck. I hope to see some of you down here in the Kagoshima next year. So yeah, just, I mean, final thoughts, I guess, just keep your wits about you. Try and sound intelligent. Remember, this is a lot of you, this will be your first job, so treat it, as any professional would. And that's about it. Let me know if you guys have questions, and when your interviews are, and if you have any jets who are here now, if you have stories you want to share about the process for you, go for it. And I will talk to you all later. Bye.